Hello, Yogitos, hopeless romantics. Welcome in to The Naked Truth with Alyssa Willoughby. I'm the curator and founder of Principal Yoga in San Juan, Puerto Rico. And today on The Naked Truth, I have a story so juicy that it should have come with a spill warning. So today I'm going to introduce you to my wonderful, beautiful younger sister, Amelia Willoughby, and her longtime 5-year boyfriend, Victor Manuel, who has bravely defeated all of the hurdles in order to be here in the family for this long. Honestly, he really has, like, just proven all of us way wrong, and we absolutely adore him. So I want to thank you guys so much for coming here and talking with me today. On today's episode, we are going to be covering traditional and non-traditional relationships in the modern world. Now, everybody has their own flavor of dating styles, and depending on what you like, it could be different from your mom's or your family's or your siblings, okay? So we're going to talk
different.
very
different.
Very different. So we are going to be talking about the modern questions of basically what is non-traditional dating versus traditional dating. We're going to go down through how my dating style versus my sister's differs, and we're going to get insights on how the traditional relationship of this modern age world truly is defeating hurdles.
Yeah, let's get into it, y'all.
So we are going to start. Amelia, what is your definition of traditional dating?
My definition is just something that is ordinary to the eye. I wouldn't say traditional, but I would, just because I personally don't follow the lines of traditional, which means, you get married, then you move in together. But personally, I just believe that it's, you're with one person, you guys are strictly to one another, nobody else. And you just go through life together, and you love one another, commit to one another. So yeah, that's really what I feel. You're there for each other.
That's amazing. Yeah. Have you seen the differentiation between like traditional and just old ways?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Like back in the day, I feel like it was a lot stricter than what it is now. Me and Victor didn't follow all the rules. We didn't wait before marriage. We live with each other.
Honestly, though, are there many people that like don't now these days? I feel like it's so hard.
There's a lot of people who are going back to like old school traditional. Mm-hmm. Like I have some friends who are just, I'm not gonna say diehard Christians, but some are. And they wait, they get married, live with each other. But personally, that's just not my cup of tea. Yeah. Not hating on anyone who it is.
No, so. I think everybody is like open to like do their own thing, and it really is their own unique story in their dating life that really does make their own true fairy tale, and not like a Disney commercial. To where
definitely not a Disney.
Definitely not a Disney commercial.
Yeah, I feel like I like the ideology behind like the Disney fairy tale, but I'm more like modern day, where I believe women have rights, they can work a 9-to-5, everything's 50-50, but also you come to each other at the end of the day. So that's something that I'm just personally following.
No, I think that's great. So how would you describe like my style of dating that you've seen?
I feel like it's a back and forth.
Okay.
Personally, I've seen you in traditional relationships. I just feel like you're too much of like a spunky firecracker. You're too much of a spunky firecracker to actually follow the traditional route. Yeah.
But I can successfully do it.
You can successfully do it. I just feel like it's not authentically you when you're in those traditional relationships.
Yeah, I definitely do feel like a little bit more confined, just in 100%. Full character.
And not just that, I feel like you get bored easily in traditional relationships.
I think I just get bored in life.
Yeah, I feel like you can last like a year or two, and then you're like, all right, I'm dipping. But there's nothing wrong with that. Again, you want to live life on a whim. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, to each their own. Mm-hmm. It's not something I would do, but I envy your freedom. So yeah.
Do you think you have like any other friends like in the like non-traditional dating? Yeah. Like what have you seen in their aspects?
I have friends who are into like polygamy. I have friends who are into no labels. Mm-hmm. I have friends who just, go to certain parties that I can't really discuss, but everyone just has their own opinions and wants and needs. Mm-hmm. So that's what I honestly love about our generation, is that everybody can really dive into what they want.
Yeah, they really can.
No fallback.
And you know, I think that really kind of like was what happened with me, especially when it came to like my aspect of dating, because you know, like we were raised in such a religious-based home that they focused on you know finding the wife and the husband, and like that was it. But then there also wasn't like room for forgiveness for like modern age reality of where not everybody's going to stay together. And you know, when I saw the confinements that religion placed on that, I realized that you know this wasn't just a sociological aspect. This was really something deeper, not just I need to find somebody for a religious aspect, or even for like, hey, I need to have kids one day. Like, if I'm going to be spending the rest of my life with you, I should make sure that I know you. And like, that's a really big way of kind of knowing somebody. But going through the trenches of like dating people who just weren't ready to actually understand themselves, let alone another person.
Yeah.
I realized that there was another layer of reality of men who actually did know who they were. Like they did know what they want. They did go through the world of like creating businesses, and they created really deep connectings with other people, and just coincidentally like they were on different playing fields of other people. So when I found this authenticity and you know the contracts and the NDAs, I realized that you know, when I was first presented it by somebody, at first I was like, this is some weird shit. I was like, who?
Yeah.
I'm like, who gives somebody a contract or an NDA? And I was like, well, what happens if there's something in this thing that I just don't know? What if I don't know like legal law, right? And I can't read what's happening.
I noticed that when I took you to the chiropractor the other day, you were signing all the paperwork, and I noticed you were reading all of the fine print, and I was like,
all of it.
The fuck up. But you read everything and then read it over, and I was like, okay, well this, I guess is what she does.
Of course, like I'm gonna make sure I'm reading the terms and conditions of like what I'm going into 100%, because like, but this is what I do in like but this is like something that I do in like my business practice. This is what I do in like my relationship practice. This is like, if I have somebody who's coming in deep into my life, right? Like I'm gonna have them coming into contact with like people that I work with, like people that, you know, like I'm just gonna be frank, like it would be beneficial to have this person in your contact. Like, and so if I'm gonna be a third degree of connection towards these people, I wanna make sure that the relationship that they're having with me is authentic to a degree with me, and not because of what they're going to be privy to accessing. Going down into, you know, Victor's, you know, relationships, like, you know, what's your relationships been like? Have they been like all traditional, non-traditional? Like
my relationships have been all traditional.
All traditional?
They've been found all traditionally, not through like any type of weird websites or anything.
I don't find mine on weird websites.
Yeah, no NDAs or anything like that.
There's that, well, you know.
Just, you know, puppy love, you know, innocent elementary school relationship, middle school relationships, high school relationships that ended up being not puppy love.
Yeah.
And yeah, we ended up just growing from what we had in the beginning of our stages in high school, and grew upon that to what we have now. And now we live in a life where we're starting to become independent, and it's going to be a new chapter, but I think together we're going to be ready for it. And I'm glad that together we have like a foundation that we've built with help, obviously, with our family.
A lot of help.
And
a lot of help.
Thank God we have loving people in our lives actually support us through our downfalls, through our ups, and everything that we've accomplished. They've been there, so it's just nice to know that even in this new chapter, that we're going to be able to be supported in any type of way, shape, or form. So it's just nice that now, yes, every relationship has their ups and downs, but you have to fight for every single day. For like
it's not easy.
At the end of the day, the outcome is going to be better, because it is. At the end of the day, if you at least love somebody enough to fight for them, listen to them, change, not necessarily change your whole person and well-being, but like at least understand where they're coming from and do something about it. So it's like something that you have to accept that everybody's different. And yeah.
So, what made you decide to go non-traditional, girl? So you've chosen a unique lifestyle, down the non-traditional path.
Yes.
What sparked your interest with that?
Okay, fun question. I'm going to start with my first non-traditional relationship was the one that introduced by contractual agreements and NDAs. And again, I thought this is the wildest shit. I'm not signing this, and I'm not entertaining this in any form or fashion because I thought there was going to be something in like a contract that I didn't understand, I couldn't read, and I just wasn't making that bet. And it wasn't until I had one of my friends who was actually going into college to become a lawyer. I sat him down and had him go with me, and he basically explained to me like there is nothing that's binding me to this except for understanding that like what we're communicating or experiencing in a relationship is going to be privatized.
Right.
And so once I got past that and realized that, you know, I didn't have to worry about like, you know, the things coming back or, you know, talking about this or talking about that, and like, I mean, people still send out people's nudes, right?
Yeah.
And so this was another thing. This was like signing out like an NDA of like a, you know, a contract of stating that if I find out that you are like sharing anything that we have either taken or I have given you,
Straight to the courthouse.
no, there's a contingency fine. Like I will, like straight up, you have to pay me for each count that I find, and that can mean that means communication with other people. That means like, I mean, hard evidence on this. And so when it does become binding, that protects me and that protects them.
I remember.
So
story time. Zoom in on me. Story time. Okay. So back in the day, me and my best friend, we were
Emily?
just being Shout out to Emily.
Shout out to
Love
Em.
you, boo.
We'll keep her name.
So funny story. So we were 10 at this time. So we would love snooping in Alyssa's room.
Everybody
Weirdly,
snooped in my
we
room.
would always snoop in her room, like try to try on her bras, you know, do what girls did. That's what we were doing, by the way.
Try on her
Yeah, we were
bras.
trying to try on her bras
How'd
because
that work
we were
out for
flat
you?
chested and we would just,
I was flat chested.
yeah. So we kind but we're 10 years old and like I guess we were infatuated with like having moves. So like we were trying to try
Teats
on her
and
bras.
feet?
Teats and feet, that
Teats
was my
and feet.
nickname. But funny story. So when we were snooping through her drawers, I stumbled upon this like little like handwritten letter, and I was like, oh, it's
It wasn't
probably,
a
like,
handwritten letter. That was type.
It might have been typed. I recall handwritten. Anyways,
The signature was
so I'm over here
handwritten.
thinking it's like, you know, like cute little love ski letter from like one of her boos. And we're just sitting there and we're like, oh my God.
Oh my God,
read it.
Emily read that?
We were both reading it, yeah. She knows the story to today. And it ended up being like a yada, 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 yada contract signed at the bottom, Stamsky, rule number 1, rule number 2, what we're doing, what we're not doing. And I was like, okay, this is weird. This is different. And you know, of course we were 10, but at the same time, you know, if 2 + 2 is 4, like we knew what was going on. So we were like, oh my God, like what is Alyssa into? Like, is she okay? What is she safe? But yeah, so we brought it up to her.
You saw that I was though.
Yeah, we saw she was.
Yeah, you definitely
But
saw that I was
brought it up to her
organized.
because I was like Snoopy as hell. I was like, Alyssa, what is this? Like, you're going to hell. What's going on?
Yeah.
This is bad. This is dirty.
Yeah.
Masturbate yourself.
Yeah, go masturbate yourself. I used to say that when I was a kid. Because I thought it meant like go yourself. So I was like, go masturbate yourself.
Oh my God. Wait, hold on. Wait, was I in college then?
If I was 10, you're like 18.
Yeah,
You're
so
like
I was probably
fresh.
getting into, that's
fresh
right.
out
Yeah.
of high school. So I brought it up to her and I was like, yeah, well, like, what is this? And then she brought it up to me that, you know, she was into some things. Get out. Whether that be like, you know, BDSM.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of like, what is BDSM? Like I knew from what I had seen in movies, it was just like really rough sex.
Yeah. I would definitely say that's
but
like the commercial base.
As I grew up more, I realized it was a lot more than that. It's also emotional, physical.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I knew from an early age that Alyssa was into some weird shit. Not weird shit. It's not weird.
Actually, the funny part was too is I thought that like my sister had like told my mom the other day. I was like talking to her about it. She's like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, I never told her. It was just me and Emily knew her deep dark secret.
But yeah, I guess it's not really like deep dark secret like now. But
It's not.
No, but no, I
She's
can.
very open about it to a certain extent.
Yeah, no, I definitely am open about it. Like I will talk broadly about it. I've performed in Shibari or
Shibari.
Shibari. No, I've performed in Shibari performances. I have gone out and about in creative expression during art shows, and I'm very openly bohemian, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah, very.
Very much so. So it was always something that just like kind of I was drawn to. I'm very high in energy and very high tempered, and so this was something that helped me during a time that I was extremely stressed. So when I was able to direct that into an appropriate channel, I was able to navigate my life more respectfully without being just toxic to myself. Because there was definitely a time like when I wasn't very directed, where it was just like mistake after mistake after mistake. And so it just became repetitive, and that was kind of like the turning point of where like I realized that like there are methodologies out there in the world that would benefit me more uniquely than what I was getting, because I would get into traditional relationships and then I feel like I would just lose myself more. I would lose my entire identity that I felt like I built around each person that I was committedly like, you know, in a relationship with. Not in a bad way, but I really did, like, you know, like, you know, my friends told me this, you told me this, mom told me this, and so.
Well, do you feel like the non-traditional route like aligns better with like your life, and like, you know, you're nomadic, you're kind of all over the place.
Yeah, but that's only been for the last 2 years. I mean, like even before I was kind of like all over, like I would say that I used to travel a lot more than like most people, and I always like hyper focused on just experiencing the world, but it was more of like I've always wanted to have somebody with me to do that. But I can't find anybody who can keep their shit together to do that.
Yeah. No, I get it. So it's just finding. It's not so much that you're into non-traditional, it's finding somebody that can keep up with your lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's what you... Okay.
And more importantly, just not jeopardize it in any form or way.
Well, and without being off camera, I think that it's exceptionally difficult for hyper-independent women because generally speaking, they attract exceptionally passive and insecure men.
True. Or women.
I tried women. I did. I tried women.
We both tried.
Yeah, we
women.
both tried women. We both adore women. We both absolutely love women. Like I think that the woman's body honestly is like the gift of the God, okay? But however, for some reason,
sorry, Mom.
For some reason, they are not very easily to manage. And yes, I feel sorry for the men. I really do, because God, they are.
Men aren't easy to manage either.
They're not. But have you tried like
they are just the same.
But I feel like you dated like a male woman. Like you've dated like more of a masculine, not like a feminine. She was
masculine, but she was very feminine at the same time.
She was sensitive. She was sensitive.
Yeah, but
yeah, she was very sensitive.
Have you met him?
Oh no, I know.
God, just
no, I know.
So.
That part I do know. Talking about what really makes up a non-traditional relationship in the modern day and age. So we ended up looking up the top listed relationship types in the non-traditional sense, and we are going to start off with number 1, polyamory.
Well, from what I've heard, it's not from what I've heard. You know, just what polyamory is.
Why, have you practiced?
No, sadly.
Oh.
So polyamory is where you have multiple partners, and you can either interchange those partners or have them separately.
Okay. Victor, that's roughly like your same knowledge base on polyamory as well?
Yeah, but she said sadly.
Oh man, I don't know.
Sadly for me too.
Yeah, but I feel like if that happened though, Emma would like turn up on one of those Netflix shows that you guys watch.
See, I'm way too possessive. Like we talk about this sometimes. We're like,
we could do it, just probably not with each other.
Not with each other.
I don't
at all. Way too possessed.
No, I think you guys really do have like an amazing relationship, but I think like, you know, later down the line,
when we
maybe.
Love,
but
we're just so like obsessively in love. It's just us.
So then we have the open relationships and the friends with benefits, which seem kind of similar, but they differ how?
What, friends with benefits?
Yeah.
Basically, I mean, you can have a good relationship with somebody, have a friend title, but still sleep with each other and see each other romantically but also non-emotionally. So that's why I feel like it differs.
Okay. And how does that differ from an open relationship?
I feel like an open relationship isn't really being like friends. It's just kind of like an open relationship. You can hook up with anybody you want.
Yeah.
I hook up with whoever I want, but
You don't have to have a friendship
yeah,
with
you don't
any
have
of
to
them.
have
It
a
could be
friendship.
one night
It's just
stands.
like one night
Yeah.
stands, maybe like just every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Like I moved out of the country, so
Yeah.
some weird type of stuff.
No, but I mean, like, you're right, because it actually is true. The open relationship is still committed base, but there is open and freedom to like kind of step out, you know, for relationship purposes. You know, this is to engage in sexual or romantic relationships with one other people. And then the friends with benefits is, again, the friendship that includes sexual activity, but not the commitment typical associated with a romantic partner.
Okay.
Then we get the jungle gym swinging.
Oh.
Yeah, Victor, do you want to take the lead on that one?
Well, I mean, swinging is like when two couples and two couples pretty much hook up with each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
So
that's just weird.
no, you're right.
It's not weird. It's might be weird to you, but a lot of people.
Yeah, there's a
do
very
it.
there's a very
There's no
large
judgment at all.
group
At
of
all.
individuals that you know, find swinging as you know
A form of therapy, a form of
Yeah.
freedom, just a form to
Sense of freedom in
escape
your
your
own
for the
relationship.
night, but also
don't
still
know.
have the security.
Yeah. So it is couples in committed relationships that engage in sexual activities with other people or couples. Casual dating, which we have all been privy of at some point or another in this life, that one is going to be engaging in dates or sexual activities without the expectations of commitment. Now, have you ever had a long distance relationship?
Yes, actually.
How about you, Victor?
We were long distance actually for a year. It wasn't really like out of state, but we were definitely like 2.5 hours apart for 1 year.
Yeah.
However, I feel like we made it work because we would see each other, you know, every weekend. We'd make the effort.
Yeah.
And I feel like if the love is there and the effort's there, it is possible to
Okay.
maintain and keep one. So yeah.
Would you guys suggest it's like a good dating route? Like if you really like the
No.
person?
No. If you really like the person, yes, but it's something that's not going to last forever, in my opinion. I feel like I'm that type of person that needs my partner a lot. So, I mean, if you have the mentality and the emotion too, then it could be for you. But
Yeah.
I feel like it's definitely not a permanent thing.
Yeah. Would you guys say that you're a product of like the effort you've put into your relationship, not amount of love that you had for one another?
I feel like it's 50-50.
Yeah.
You can't have love without effort. You can't have effort without love. So,
That's beautiful. So then we get down into our deeper, darker list of non-traditional relationships. And this includes sugar relationships, which are relationships that are built upon financial agreements. We have age gap relationships where there is a significant age gap, and this can be 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. But again, I guess there is no age in love, really. Well, no, I take that back. There definitely is. There definitely is.
there is.
There definitely is. But yeah, if there is somebody that I guess like you fell in love with that is significantly older than you, then you know, it is what it is. Living apart together. This is committed partners who choose to maintain separate residences. I actually didn't know about this one.
I mean, I can see it. I feel like there are some people who personally do need their space, but also want to maintain a relationship.
Yeah.
I guess it's just to each their own. I'm the type of person where I don't care if he invades my space 24/7.
I feel like that's the only reason why people would do that. But it's like at the same time, depending on like work situations, like maybe one place is like a beach home and the other place is just like in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like people want like different vibes. Like you come visit one week and I go over there the other weekend, and like
it's definitely not for us, but I mean, if it works for other people,
Yeah.
I can see how that's kind of cool.
I mean, I feel like I'm kind of doing that like right now.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with needing your space. I feel
No,
like.
I just feel like I think it was like after like my like last relationship, like I just didn't have my space. If like, and it was just like I've never like I didn't really have like my own space, and I like that I have it. It's like so healing for me that it's like I'm just very particular about who I put it into now. And then we have our contractual agreements, which we will be getting down to later in this episode. We have our asexual relationships, where these are the relationships where little to no sexual contact actually occurs, but emotional intimacy is valued.
Yeah.
I feel like that is important in a lot of relationships, like just a deep emotional connection.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, people are different and have different wants and needs.
Yeah.
And if you're not a sexual person, then
Yeah.
kudos to you. But
No, I think those are really pretty too, because even in yoga, like you'll have an acro, partner where there is like no sexual or physically sexual activities happening, but there are like a lot of energetic and there are a lot of spiritual and having somebody open up your body, just manipulating your body, like that's an intimate experience in itself. So no, I completely get the asexual
ones. I know some
ones.
people who are in the asexual, commitments,
Yeah.
and I feel like it's not so much that they don't get turned on. That's not the case at all. They can get turned on just like any other person, but it's about the fact of them choosing to be physical with that person. There are some still asexual relationships that do have sex every now and then, but it's also, I feel like they're more endowed in the emotional aspect than the physical.
Yeah. And then our last one is going to be our kink and BDSM. These are going to be relationships that involve alternative sexual practices, roles, lifestyles, often with power dynamics as a key element, which we will be deep diving into momentarily, which is going to be
Please disregard my animals if you hear them pacing back and forth.
We are in fact in an animal house, so this is going to be quite fun.
Sure.
So we are going to talk about traditional datings. So you want to take the lead on that one?
Victor, go for it. Actually, I would like to hear you speak a little bit on this.
Traditional dating, I mean, in my experience, I feel like I went through traditional dating, just in the form that I kind of met my partner face to face.
How did you guys meet?
In school, in class, and we just kind of became friends, started hanging out. Obviously, there was a connection there from becoming friends in that classroom. So we took it, outside of class, and we ended up becoming really good friends.
Yeah.
And then we ended up being boyfriend and girlfriend like a year later.
Yeah, we were stringing it along without a title for about a year.
Oh, trust me, I know. I was there. I was there for the entire thing. I was there for the entire thing.
Boyfriend and girlfriend, but without the title. We just weren't sure.
I was hated throughout that.
He was not hated. We
were fresh out of like 2-year relationship, so we didn't know if we wanted to settle down yet and have that title. So we were having fun. So I guess on that non-traditional route, we did experience that for a year.
You did. You definitely did.
Title.
You had some qualities of non-traditional dating, and then you guys came in traditional sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys still made it though.
Still made it. Yeah.
But in that way, I feel like it's a traditional type of relationship. And
we definitely were friends with
benefits
for a while.
Don't share each other. Obviously with other people or
So these are some of the traits and qualities of like traditional dating, just that are known in modern day society. And I'm pretty sure you guys are hitting the head on all of them, except for like maybe a few.
Okay.
This is going to be monogamy, which again, you guys have committed yourself to one another. Traditionally, dating typically involves exclusively between two individuals, refraining from intimate activities outside of these two people. You got that long-term intent.
Yep.
You guys have talked about wanting to have a partnership, and this is really important too because a lot of relationships in today's society will basically go on a no communication rule. So as long as everything's floating properly in the ocean of the relationship, then nobody really has time or even thinks about making it, a committed relationship or even talk about anything long term because most people aren't thinking about long term.
Scared.
Yeah.
They're
It is
scared. No, and I
It's
know.
a scary thought being with one person
It is.
for the rest of your life.
It is.
It really shouldn't be scary because at the end of the day, I feel like being alone should be a lot scarier. I mean, not
For
to
some people, it's not. Some people thrive.
not to say,
Yeah.
but you're not alone. You have friends.
Oh no, but I would
You're
say like
traveling with people.
But you can choose
You're-
when
you're-
and when you don't want your space invaded.
Yeah.
I think that's where the freedom aspect
When
comes
when
in.
I say like alone, I mean like being alone, like going home by yourself. Like you live with a roommate. You
no, I don't have
Practically do
anybody
live
with
with
me like all year except for like maybe 2 months out of the year. Like that's it. Like oh man, we'll go down. We'll definitely go down that little deep hole because even with my dating style, right? Like there are times of where I experience like long sprints of just isolation because like I have such a certain like criteria.
There's isolation, but there's also adventure for you to go out and go. You do the dating thing, like where you go out,
Yeah.
go on dates, but then if it does or doesn't stick, then
it just doesn't stick.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like no, I've had to like learn how. But okay, we'll get back into that. So we have the conventional values or venues. So you guys did go down the introducing to one another, to your parents, to your family,
Right.
this and that.
Yeah. Before we actually dated.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were very close with each other's families before we
Already.
even
Yeah.
became official. So
I just saw what I was doing. I'm sorry.
No. My dog is in a relationship with
A
what's the
long,
word?
long
A
committed
long-term
relationship with a
traditional
long
Actually,
caterpillar.
It's non-traditional because she has 2 caterpillars.
Oh,
so-
that's right.
Yeah.
Nala is an active practitioner in polyamory.
Yeah,
She
She
does
is.
stuff in front of each other. In front of them.
she makes them watch.
She's an active participator in
does.
polyamory, and then my dog, I'm pretty sure, is the asexual one.
Yep.
Um,
yeah. I don't know. The one German Shepherd at the beach.
Oh
I guess
yeah,
she's
that's
not.
that's right. That's right.
I guess not.
So the next steps are going to be
Sequential steps.
sequential steps.
We go sequential.
Sequential steps. Traditional dating generally follows a set of steps and processes. Go on a first date in person. You guys didn't like actually meet on social platforms, so you guys did go on that traditional sense too. Do you guys plan on getting engaged?
One day, for sure.
Okay.
That's more of a question for him.
Well, I know, but like, just like, are you guys just enjoying your time, or is it like, I know?
I definitely want to do it sooner than later.
Good.
Yeah, I want it soon.
It's one of those things where it's kind of like just want to be more in a
More secure.
Yeah.
secure spot.
Following the traditional sense.
Yeah, and like it's not one of those things where you just want to rush just because it's like, oh, I want to get married.
Oh,
Just
I know.
Because I want to have your last name. It's like, okay.
Oh my
It really
God.
makes no difference
Makes
besides
no
signing a
difference.
piece of paper and your taxes. So if
Yeah.
it makes her happy, then I'll do it sooner than later.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, I'm gonna
If
do
it makes me happy.
I'm gonna do it when we're both in a secure
Yeah.
spot
Okay.
first, before she's just gonna be pleased. Because at the end of the day, I wanna be secure before anything. Because that is a big purchase, big commitment, something that it's gonna take a lot of planning to do,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not just something that I'm about to rush into either. So
No. That's amazing.
But soon, he said. Soon.
But definitely soon.
definitely been
soon.
planning it though.
We're definitely
I'll say
waiting.
that.
We're waiting for it. We definitely are.
Ah!
Okay. Amelia, when did you realize that like traditional dating?
Sorry, I'm so happy. Continue.
Just bask in it for a second.
I'm basking in it.
Just bask in it. Bask in it. Amelia, when did you realize that traditional dating like was your jam?
I just feel like it came more naturally. I didn't really have the need to do. I'm not gonna say outrageous things, but
Yeah, I would say that we've differed
Yeah.
on that one.
yeah, I feel more comfortable in traditional.
Yeah.
Following the rules of life just seems more comfortable for me. I'm not gonna say I actually have always been in traditional relationships, but
Yeah. Well, no, you definitely weren't. You were. Yeah. Yeah, that one definitely happened.
yeah, that would happen. But I feel like in a sense it's still less traditional.
Yeah. I mean, you guys were still committed to one another.
It still is a traditional.
It is still a
relationship.
It is still
traditional.
traditional based. Yeah.
Yeah, so But yeah, it's always come naturally to me to be committed to one person and want to be with that person for the rest of my life, and
Try.
be with my others forever.
Do you think that, do you find like a lot of your friends in your friend circle or direct friend circle are also in traditional set relationships, or do you have anybody like outside that it just differs a little bit?
Well, I have some friends outside that do differ, but we have close friends who are also traditional, like his best friend and my best friend, both in traditional relationships. And
Well, she met him not in traditional.
that's true. So we were
Which one?
actually, I guess,
Yeah, they met virtually.
they
first,
did. Yeah.
and then met and started like to date.
But I feel like a lot of
go
people
on
left.
dates,
But
Yeah.
if you would
they-
look at them now, you would be like, that's a traditional couple.
I mean, at
Yeah.
the end of the day, it is a
to the book.
traditional couple.
Well, that's how I met
but
Jonathan.
I feel like that's not
Yeah.
a traditional
Yeah.
way to meet somebody.
Yeah.
It's not traditional.
No, I
but
wouldn't
then
call it. I would call it like modern age traditional.
modern
Age, because like we grew up in the
Online,
age. We
yeah.
grew up in the age
Instagram.
of basically where it was like you can't go and meet the people that you met in your chat rooms, but like some people did, but most people like didn't.
Not in chat rooms.
The fucking chat rooms. But now it kind of turns into this like it's just socially acceptable of just like, hey mom, by the way, I'm going on like a blind Tinder date.
Yeah.
Pray for me.
Pray for me.
Address.
Oh my God, even then, like my girlfriend told me about this story, like literally, it's horrible. She straight up goes on this date with this guy. Everything's really going out great. And then he takes her back to his house because she's like, yeah, I'm down. And he's like, I would love to give you a full body massage. Okay. And this is like gold to me. Okay. Cause like when somebody says this to me, I'm like, done. It doesn't even matter. If I die happy. Okay.
Friend
like,
or foe?
yeah. And I'm like, if you want to give me a full body massage, I'm not going to say no to it. And I should probably,
That's pretty easy.
yeah, I take that back. I'm starting to say no to this. I need to have like 3 references if I'm gonna get a back massage from you now. But so she goes back and everything's great, and she lays on a full massage bed because he has one. So gold star right there. You're like, this guy's authentic. Gets a full body massage. She's like, oh, I'm definitely getting the D down, right? So she goes to the bathroom, calls her friend, and she's like, hey, I'm not making it home. I'm gonna sleep here tonight. I will call you, and I'll call you in the morning, and everything's Gucci. You have my location on, right? She hangs up the phone, walks out, and she's like she's just chilling in a fucking like, towel or like a sheet. And the guy comes over, loses his shit, and was like, who were you on the phone with? And she's like, I was on the phone with my friend, like, what's up? And he loses it. Like, and so she literally changes, rushes home, goes to bed, locks her door, gets so freaked out, wakes up with like 3rd-degree burn all over her body because the guy put meat tenderizer on her and massaged it in her. Literally calls the cops.
Meat tenderizer?
Yeah, so she goes to the she goes to the ER, right? And the doctor, like the ER nurse is like, yo, what did you do? And she's like, I got I don't know, I got a full body massage. And she was like, you're getting like 3rd-degree burn because they put meat tenderizer on your body and you've been soaking in it for the last like 8 hours. She was like, when did you put this on? And she was like, I literally got a full body massage from a guy. And so like they call the cops go over there, the dude's gone.
He
Like,
rented an Airbnb.
Apparently rented an Airbnb, like, and had like done this before, and like there was like 2 other people like in another state. She was gonna eat her. Like that's
my
yeah.
God.
So like that's the other thing. Like I rarely meet
That's
people.
crazy.
Like back in the day.
Happened? Like what
Yo,
year?
that's
Oh my God, my
crazy.
girlfriend told me about this like 3 months ago. Lauren.
Oh my God.
Or I'm sorry, but yeah, so she told me about it like 3 months. I'm like, I'll go block that out. But yeah, so she told me about this and I was like, okay, yep, just scratching Tinder.
that
Like
would
I don't
give
even
me
go on
trauma.
Tinder. Straight trauma.
I would never go to a massage.
No. So like
parlor.
even now, like most of the people that I do meet are either like through social events. Like I'm on Bumble, but Bumble's like more for like my business. I can't even tell you how many like dates I get on there because they're like, hey, I don't want to take you on a date, but I would like to hire you to teach me and my date yoga. And I'm like, yeah, 100%. So I'll put it on there. But even then, it's just so weird now.
Yeah. Wow.
People are very odd.
All right, Alyssa, do you find that your non-traditional ways intimidate potential partners?
Yeah, it definitely does.
What ways?
I feel like it definitely weeds out the individuals that really aren't what I'm looking for. Because bottom line is I'm not having you sign like a financial statement with me, right? Like I'm just having you sign like a confidentiality agreement that like whatever I say to you is strictly by law, like confidential, because I don't want to have to deal with what I've already experienced. And if I find an individual who just respects that I have gone through things that do require me to have this, then
A little high maintenance.
I wouldn't even call it high maintenance. I would think that like empathy would be needed more than the fact that I'm high maintenance, because I have experienced this. I have literally gone through working to get out of that situation, and I am not affording to be put into that again just because I like somebody. However, it does help me weed out the people who just do understand that like my weight is authentic, and what I'm saying, like they might not see that value, but they understand and respect that I'm asking it.
So you kind of think it's good if they come off intimidated because you're like, maybe this isn't a good match. But
Yeah.
if they're open to it and willing to learn, then you're like, okay, this is the person with the backbone.
Yeah, 100%, because I authentically need to have somebody who is going to be able to take control of something, who is going to respect where I am at, like my level of self-respect, right? If you don't respect yourself, there's no way that I can expect you to respect me.
Right.
And vice versa. Like I want to make sure that the person I'm coming into respects my name along with theirs, because that person is going to be a direct representation of me.
Right.
And so if I have somebody who's slipping, I'm going to look like I'm slipping.
Oh, 100%.
And it doesn't even matter how much I love them. It doesn't matter how much like they bring to the table. If they're slipping, I'm slipping, and vice versa. That's why I would never jeopardize that for another person. And most of the time, like I'm not the one who's jeopardizing it. So this is why I put these contractual agreements to stating like, hey, by the way, we're going to be trying this whole discovery phase for like 4 months. If that's what you want, we could do it for 30 days. Just to find out, are your pursuits authentic? Are you not actually wasting my time? And if we like each other after these 30 days, or after like this time frame that we have decided, then we can go down onto an actual relationship. But I don't want to embarrass like my family reputation. I don't want to have like all these people attached to my name of just a failed relationship because I want to try them out. Like your privacy is your privacy. I don't want to get involved in your friends, family, social work. I don't want to be involved in any of it. I just want to talk to you without having to worry about having any drama from your friends, your family, or any of that shit that I don't know about.
So how do you get from that point to being in a relationship if you don't want to know anything about their family, their friends?
Just in the discovery phase. No, I want to have a conversation and get information about it, but I'm not going to be there and be like, hey, I need this. It's going to be like, hey, your information is private to me. You don't have to worry about me finding out like, hey, by the way, if you're like your dad owns like, you know, some like multi-billion-dollar like shit, like you're not going to worry about me going on like, you know, Instagram or social media saying like, guess who I just fucked. Right? Because no, but like some of these women do this. Like you'd be really surprised. Like remember like that one girl I had to write a 15-page affidavit on? Like she seems super normal, but these women like that are operating in these same like social circles of just like people going to charities, people going into like high end events, like you're gonna get a lot of pigeons, and the pigeons are like
I love that you call the pigeons pigeons.
What they are, you throw the crumbs, they come, they flock, they pick it up, and they're fucking gone. Like they're gone in a heartbeat. Like you will never see them. Like as soon as like the bread is there, it is gone. But it's like these women do actually, you know, I'm not like talking shit on them, but they do put a bad reputation around like these women who are single walking in these like social circles, right? Like I always felt weird walking in social circles if I didn't make the net worth of being with these people, right? Because I felt like I was being disingenuous. Like if I wasn't bringing to this table, then like I felt like I was taking from the table, and I just didn't feel comfortable with that.
I get it.
So when we go through that discovery phase and we're like, hey, we would like to take this seriously, there are more than most of the relationships that I have continued on by contractual after the discovery phase. They were always non-traditional in the sense of where like we would be with each other every single day. Like they would be traveling, I would be traveling. We would have a form of open relationship of where like we'd be open and communicate like if there was something that we needed or if there was something going on in the day-to-day. But it was more like a connectional connection or like emotional connection, because when you are traveling so much, you're uprooted. Like it's really hard to feel like at home or settled. And so like just having that person that you can go and like decompress that. Yeah, and there's no weird feelings, there's no anxiety, there's no like weird phase of where you have to like feel like you have to work to let the guard down. Because even for me, it's hard to let my guard down. Like if I don't feel safe with you, if I don't think that you can handle your shit, you're gonna get the thug me.
Right.
Okay, Victor, you are a rare gem in the dating world. What do you think sets your traditional approach apart from the modern dating scene?
I wouldn't say rare gem.
There's not a lot of people who can stay in a long-term relationship, Victor. I'm gonna be honest. Like in today's world, like
We
a lot of
stayed in
people
a
are like,
long-term relationship for a year. We were 2 hours apart.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can call it a long-term relationship because we weren't in the same town, but it wasn't that serious of a long-term relationship. And
you guys did go
And
through moments
during-
together though.
yeah, during
high
that
school,
A lot of
phase-
moments.
high school graduation, college, all college. Maybe like, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna say all college on that one.
Well, we went
College
through,
graduation.
I would say junior year and senior year together, and then moved.
Freshman year we were still together. We just lived separately. That was the only
yeah,
issue.
Yeah.
and then
Sophomore year too, we were
Sophomore
still
year
together, but just
college
2.5 hours apart.
was the long-term part, but during that part was a rough part of our
Very
relationship,
Very rough.
and we actually did break up for like a month or
Yeah.
something, like maybe 2 months. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But
When
not
you guys-
even significant enough because we were literally still talking every single
Every
day.
day.
So I have to
Not
ask
even
though,
really technically. A
when you guys have
breakup.
kids, like, are you guys gonna feel weird about like your kids living with their boyfriend or girlfriend, like before they get married?
No, but I will still treat my son and my daughter the same way I was treated, just because I know that my sister was treated differently than I was. For example, like I was allowed girls in my room with the
Yeah.
door open.
There is like that sense
She
of
was
like,
never allowed
No.
boys in her room.
Yeah.
Depending on the situation, I would be okay with both.
yeah.
However, if I wasn't home, then that's a different situation.
Emma, you made a
Like,
weird voice. You
that's-
made a weird sigh.
that's-
Do you feel the same?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I feel like it's more sexist to treat one gender a different way. I'm gonna be the same. It's just there's still gonna be rules, obviously, enforced.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you don't have like leniency with your kids, they're gonna do it behind your back regardless.
Oh yeah,
Just
that's,
like we
that's
were.
fair.
Yeah, and that's why I say that, because at the end of the day, my sister was the worst. She was the worst. She ended up having to sneak out the most, sneak in the most, got in trouble the most because of that.
I feel like we've all snuck out and snuck in.
Oh,
Oh,
I've
100%.
definitely done it.
Yeah.
But like as
100%.
a guy, I feel like it's more common.
Which is interesting to like find out like
Yeah.
other people's like perspectives on it.
100%. But
Especially
love who
in,
you want to love, be who you want to be.
of course, yeah.
But
Yeah.
at your own time, at your own expense.
Exactly.
Genuinely, like everything needs to be like a self-discovery mission and then a self-decision based on like really what it is that you want. Like don't go for the fabs, don't go for like a, oh, this is gonna be fun. Like if your boyfriend is trying to take you over to a swingers club, like make your decision on doing it, okay? Like if they're
Don't
trying,
be forced into anything.
yeah, go because you want to go. Experience it because you want to experience it, but don't, force yourself into going and trying these different things if like you just genuinely don't feel ready for it,
Right.
And that's what I'm gonna say about it, because I definitely experienced a lot at ages that like I'm sure my mother would
Yeah.
not have been comfortable that I was partaking in. So use your own personal judgment on these things. Know what you're getting into. Make sure that you know exactly what you're getting into, and above all, like have consent. And
100%.
consent is needed.
Consent.
Victor, how have you noticed any like hurdles or challenges men are facing today in modern dating? I know that you were happily in a relationship, but just from what you're hearing from your other guy friends.
I think nowadays it's hard for men and women to find a secure partner because most people are either not secure with themselves, financially, mentally, like whatever.
Yeah.
Spiritually, I don't know. They're just not stable, and for a two-way street, both roads have to be paved.
100%.
You can't have a
100%.
rocky road on one side of the street and then a nicely paved road on the other side.
No.
It's like that's not gonna work.
No, and that's like
So-
that's such a big point in like non-traditional dating too. Just like on a personal requirement, if it doesn't matter if you don't have your shit together. Like it really doesn't. Like there's nothing wrong with you. Like we are just not in the same like playing field.
Right,
and that's it.
Right, and that's not to say that you have to have a job.
No,
you have to
no,
have
no.
no kids.
Mentally sound is definitely
Yeah.
one of them. Okay,
Yeah.
like that is going to be a giant one.
It is.
Yeah, being in a relationship can, like how we started. We didn't have jobs.
No.
You
We
guys
still
were
lived with
kids
our
when you guys
parents.
met one
You
another.
were
Exactly.
kids.
Like I'm 29, you know, like I have to
Exactly.
make sure that the person that I'm going to be spending, like, you know, I don't actually feel like I'm one of those people that is like having a weird freak out about 29, but I am definitely now realizing like
You were in the beginning. You're like, oh, 29.
no, I actually wasn't, because I was calling myself 29 last year because Mom and Craig have always instilled this whole
Yeah,
like
now
you're
you're
a
calling
year
yourself
older than what
30.
you actually are. So like, you know, 28, I was like, oh, I'm already 29. Like, you know, this is what it is. But like now it's just like I'm very aware of my time. You know, it's not that I don't feel like I don't have time. I just feel like the time that I do have needs to be directed in the right places. And I love hard. I love real hard. And I need to be very responsible about like my next mental deep dive into a breakdown because I bet on the wrong pony, which you have seen. How many have you seen now?
A
Two?
lot of ponies.
Not a lot of ponies. Well, you came around during. Mom.
I think 2.
Yeah, me
Derby's in
too.
the Kentucky Derby.
My ponies are definitely hybrid. I'll put it that way. Continue though. Continue though, Victor. In your experience, do you think modern dating methods are more about the chase than the building a meaningful relationship now?
I feel like nowadays it is about the chase because I feel like
Victor loved the chase.
Oh, Victor loved that shit.
Love the chase.
You love the chase.
Chasing that shit.
Oh man, no, but it's okay. It's okay. Look, Victor, you actually grew out of it. Like Puerto Rico right now, I shit you not. The Peter Pan syndrome
Peter Pan.
is very, very real. They're called the Lost Boys, okay? And it's like literally the boys that do not grow up. They just become very wealthy, and then they just continue on this like single living, and then they have like these non-traditional relationships.
well, I mean, at the end of the day, like that's nice for them, but at the end of the day, it's like they feel comfortable doing that, going home.
Yeah.
Sleeping in their bed alone.
Most of the time, they're not sleeping in their
with-
bed alone, though. They have like
Right.
a rotation of fucking women.
This
This is the wildest thing. Like,
As I was about to say, or with a different partner.
Yeah.
Oh,
which is,
man.
like, kind of weird to me, you know, like
trust me, I know.
I'm not the type of person
needs
to
that
just
familiarity.
wanna just sleep around with all types of girls. or
Yeah.
But you
whatever.
have.
But even like with yoga, you need like energetic exchange is a real thing. If
Yeah.
your coochie or your like pekka is getting like thrown off on the
Bad
pH,
juju
it is
and
bad
hoodoo.
juju. You need to listen to the snatch or the pekka. It knows. It knows what's up. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
I mean, yeah, but that's the thing. It's like nowadays, like a lot of men, a lot of girls just have
Yeah.
meaningless sex. So
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you could catch a little case if you just mess around all the time. That's one of those things where it's like, I never wanted to deal with that. So I was just always careful with like people that I was hooking up with, at least trying to be, you know, and not to say that I was the safest, but
You weren't.
I definitely went all my life without catching any case.
Damn
So-
straight.
Round of applause.
Neither of us. Safe sex is the best sex. Just saying.
Not me though, because apparently the guy from high school that was apparently.
Open honesty.
Oh man,
Open
no, it's okay.
honesty.
Look, in high school, trust me. In high school, I got what was it? The clap. Yeah,
Girl, you
it
had
did.
that applause.
I did.
Okay, it was the clap.
It
You
was
didn't
the
have
clap.
standing ovation.
It was the clap. No, and I was so pissed too because I literally that was the first. That was a real embarrassing moment with my doctor because I really actually was like, "There's no way."
Yeah.
There's no way.
She asked, "Can you catch it from the toilet seat?"
But I found out that apparently you can get them from blowjobs. By the way, so
can.
boys, be careful who
Don't
you.
get silly with your willy.
Don't get silly with the willy, or at least, don't get silly with the willy. Girls, be smart. Go to a good gynecologist and get it.
Smart.
6 months? No, like yearly checkups. Yearly checkups are
I
required.
would say a 6 month checkup.
6 months.
Well,
Every at
depending
least
on
like
how-
new
how
partner.
active you are,
Yeah.
that really
Active you are.
contributes.
Yeah, that's
Especially
fair.
for an adult film industry, probably weekly.
Yeah, it's always get the checkup.
Yeah, get the checkup.
Definitely get the checkup.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Okay, I'm gonna just do the end of it, and then we can come back and do shit if we want to. Okay.
I want some pie and a haunted mansion.
Okay. And that is a wrap on today's Juicy Naked Truth with the Yogi Principal Yoga. Thank you, Amelia, and thank you, Victor, for coming on for today's show. I really did have a blast.
Oh, we said blast at the same. Aww. Aww.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today, where we put it all out there, mind, body, and dating diary. Now, until our chakras are aligned again, keep it real, keep it raw, and keep it yogi. Bye, guys.